hey, these little ditties are pretty banging, but album of the year? No. That's for our people. Tonight, Jay-Z finally found his 100th problem. Sweetly seasoned sizable sales snafu sparks social scrutiny. Subsequently, she's sorry. And do black people really have to put on a white face just to stay alive? It's Black History Month. Who's disrespecting us now? Find that out and what else we're talking about on this week's episode of The Blackman Show. Welcome to the BS. Now let's go. So before we get into things, I wanted to shine a quick light on Carl Weathers, a former NFL linebacker, actor, and the only Creed many of us will ever need. Now, the man is famous for roles such as Chubbs in Adam Sandler's Happy Gilmore, Combat Carl in the Toy Story franchise, and Apollo Creed in the Rocky franchise, as well as a deadbeat father in the Creed franchise. But wait, hold on, real quick. Did you all realize that Michael B. Jordan is this short? Now, I know angles are a thing, but man, those angles, those cameras must also add height in addition to weight. Looking up his height really quickly. Hold on, just a second. There is no way that this man is 6 feet tall when we know Sylvester Stallone is 5'8". I digress. Sorry. Well, Mr. Weathers recently passed, and I just want to take a moment to highlight one of our unsung black heroes, gone much too soon. We thank you, sir, for all that you were and are to so many of us who also may have our own unsung stories. And I thank you for your inspiration. All right, let's go. What is good? What is good? Ladies and gentlemen, I am Seven Blackman, and this is The Blackman Show, a place where we can take a look at the news with a little bit of 7 cents. But before we get into it, let's take a moment, assess how are you feeling today? Seriously, ballpark. Like on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being horrible. Okay, now whatever that number is, you got the number? Hold on to it, because there's a test on it later. So I'll be the first to tell you, I haven't been much of an award show watcher lately, so the Grammys are no different for me. But I had to cover the speech from one Sean Carter, also known as Jay-Z. Now, for copyright reasons, I can't play the whole speech, but here's a quick excerpt.
Thank you to the Black Music Collective for all the work that you guys do. We love y'all. We want y'all to get it right, at least get it close to right. And obviously it's subjective. Y'all don't gotta clap at everything. I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but she has more Grammys than everyone and never won Album of the Year. The most Grammys, never won Album of the Year. That doesn't work. Some of you don't belong in the category. Now, when I get nervous, I tell the truth.
Now, as he accepted the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award, he took the time to outline the obvious subjective nature of music in itself, then blasting the record industry as a whole in defense of his wife, one Beyonce effing Knowles Carter, who's never received the coveted Album of the Year award, losing to the likes of Adele, Taylor Swift, Harry Styles, and Beck. And I don't know, part of me was thinking that Beyonce may have been a bit torn at the moment. I mean, first, I'm sure she was all excited that once again, her man was standing up for it like Kanye did years ago, but in a much more respectful tone and demeanor, right? But on the other hand, who knows? Maybe there was a bit of embarrassment that she was the one in the room with the most Grammys, but has never actually won Album of the Year. And really quickly, how do you do that, Grammys? Like, for real, how do you do it? How do you give someone 32? I think, is it 32? 30. How do you give somebody 32 Grammys? Obviously saying, hey, these little ditties are pretty banging, but Album of the Year? No. That's for our people. That's for the people that we select.
What a silly Negro.
Seriously. That's how it comes across at times when we're passed over and the math just doesn't add. I mean, think about it. You're at your job, you're the best box stuffer, truck driver, analyst, whatever it is, and you get recognized for your work in all the myriad ways you contribute to the company's success, but you're never given a promotion. You're never given a raise, and you just have a wall full of participation awards and trophies. But I guess in the age of do you, I would also have to ask Jay and Bay, why do y'all need their validation? You know what I'm saying? You're absolute royalty in the music game. Why do lions care about the opinions of sheep, especially when you know how they keep building you up to give you nothing? You know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know y'all thoughts on this one. Now, not to be outdone at the Grammys, we also got to give some props to Killer Mike and his clean sweep of the rap categories, winning Best Album, Best Song, along with Andre 3000. Y'all said that he don't spit no more though, right? And best performance. So to the youngsters who was mad that Nicki Minaj didn't win for a song Barbie World along with Ice Spice, I can kind of feel your pain. Even though I actually listened to Killer Mike, you know what I'm saying? Like I can remember back when Steely Dan got Album of the Year over Eminem, and I was like, who is Steely Dan? Now, don't get me wrong, at the time I had heard of Steely Dan, but I'm like, dude, you ain't did nothing in like 20 years. Maybe I need to shut the F up because now I'm the old guy. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, but hold on, youngster, he said, hopefully, unironically. If you're saying that you're somebody who's a lover of hip hop or in hip hop, but at the same time you're saying, who the hell is a Killer Mike? You're telling on yourself. I mean, you're basically telling on yourself and you're letting everybody know that you're a fraud. But I know that y'all don't really care, but seriously, you're just not, you ain't got it. I can't say that the album to me was killed. You know what I'm saying? Mike Render from Killer Mike, it was killed, personally. And this is at a time when I'm finding it even harder to locate a mainstream rapper that I even like. But like I said, I get it. Y'all don't know who Killer Mike is and don't know how he's been at it for 25 plus years. And when you add to the fact that the Grammys, Twitter, and website both already said that Nicki won, it only adds to conspiracy whispers, right? And then when you add to that the fact that Nicki has been snubbed seemingly forever, at least back when she was good, her recent Bigfoot songs and hanging around with child lovers notwithstanding. Now, shortly after receiving his third award, Michael Render, aka Killer Mike, was escorted out of the Crypto.com arena by the LAPD for questioning in association with battery. So, my question is, why do you have to do this now, here, and like this? I mean, I'm sure that there are and were better ways to get at the man. And I'm sorry, not just the man, artist and 4-time Grammy Award winner. Let's make sure you put some respect on it. So regardless of the charge, and it's not like you didn't know where he was if he was indeed the right person. I just am reminded of a certain song that hits so hard at times like this when it seems it doesn't matter what we do or who we are, we'll still get the N-word treatment.
Light nigga, dark nigga, faux nigga, real nigga, rich nigga, po nigga, house nigga, feel nigga, still nigga, still nigga.
But that's just me. Now, thankfully, his recent statement on the arrest was more focused than the arrest itself, saying, "We are incredibly proud and are basking in this moment. I'm also grateful that one of my prayers has been answered. The day after the Grammy win, I learned that my son, who's been on the list for a kidney for years, finally has a match. Obviously, we are elated." But do you think there's a conspiracy though, still holding Nicki back? And what do you think about the charges against Killer Mike? And why was the rap category not televised? Again. And last of the Grammys, because I know how much y'all love these entertainment stories. Taylor Swift won Album of the Year, snubbed Celine Dion, who came out of hiding after medical issues, apparently for that snub, which she later rectified, don't get me wrong, and then used the time to promote her new album coming out, and just honestly, to me, proved what Jay-Z had already said early in the night to be true. Now, personally, I'm just tired of her name in things. But again, that's just me. To the 3 Swiftie fans that are watching this right now, do you really think she deserved it? I mean, this year. Seriously? And why aren't any of her songs winners, but her albums receive such accolades? And lastly, I'm personally convinced this is the year of Taylor. She can do no wrong. And, you know, if the conspiracy of the supposed NFL scriptwriters can be believed, congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs in their win over the 49ers. Congratulations to Taylor and Travis in their marriage when he proposes after their win. And congratulations to Joe Biden for the presidency. Can we just move on to 2025 already? So as we pay some bills, I'd like to remind you that you are watching The Blackman Show. Feel free to check out our store at theblackmanshow.com where we have some dope items like this hoodie. Now look, I can't lie. This is Absolutely my favorite. It's like it's warm, but it's breathable at the same time, and made of like this real butter soft poly cotton blend thing that I can't lie. It really feels good on the skin. And I'm telling you, if you know me, like beyond this thing, but beyond this space, if you know me, I wasn't really a hoodie wearing person. Like I own a couple hoodies, but I didn't really wear them. But this right here, I mean, this right here, this gets worn. This gets worn. My N word. This gets worn. But be sure to get yourself something after the show. You will not be disappointed. But with that, be sure to hit the like, hit the sub, crack that notification bell, and of course, share this with your mom. You know she misses me. Tell her I said, what's up? I see you soon. And now that we're out of the world entertainment, let me tell you a story. You see, there used to be a music form called country music, right? And at its inception, it was created by the children of jazz, gospel, and blues, introducing us to instrument staples like the banjo and the jug. That's right. Who can forget such sweet lullabies played to the babies like sounds just like Mama used to play. At any rate, it seems sometime in the 1920s, due to the likes of Jimmy Rogers and the Carter family, and just the fact that there's a section of people who seem to like hearing other people's music, but you know, just from a face that they can take home to mom. Yeah, you too, Jack. But for this reason, many began to think country music is primarily white, when it's actually far from the truth. Enter T-Pain, American rapper, singer, and Twitch god.
Let go. Look, we about to get it brackin' in this bitch. You just tuned into the littest channel on Twitch. And I am T-Pain, you know the OG. So when you think of legends, I am one of those kings. Oh, please, get on both knees. I'm your host tonight, but feel free to host me. I'm a big brainer, pro gamer. Other channels, lame-os, they no namers. 5 subs, 20 subs, 50. Yeah, I can't put money in the bank cause it won't fit in. Yeah, I stay loyal to my broyos and you know I can't switch. Take the trash outside, better get out my face, bitch. That's what's up.
And you'll see a talented man who has many gifts. One of those is actually writing country music. But it seems that the man in love with the bartender may need to take a few more drinks to get over the amount of racism he's faced as part of the genre. But if the website whiskeyriff.com can be of any truth, of course they're skeptical that he's written anything. I mean, I guess I know why, but do you think Payne is actually lying about working with the likes of Taylor Swift, Luke Bryan, Rhett Akins, and Dallas Davidson? Add to that the knowledge of R&B artist K. Michelle's ongoing battle with the country music industry for racism within its borders, and you may find a bit of validity in what Payne has to say. But I'll leave that to you. Do you think T-Pain is making shit up, or do you think there may be some other kind of tea behind this pain? Yeah, you get that? I'll get the jugs and we can talk about it in the comments. So if you all checked out our earlier episode concerning one Keith Lee, former MMA fighter and current full-time TikToker and food critic, who I want absolutely no smoke from, although you probably should come to Kansas City and check out Chickson, just saying. And no, we're not sponsored. Then you should know that he takes certain delight in shining a good light on some of the smaller eateries around this nation that may have the flavor, but not the marketing ability to stay in your face like some of the major fast food chains. With his ability to stay humble while eating good food and offering a critique, he's an easy favorite of many establishments from Vegas all the way to Florida. Now, I've seen the man change some people's financial and business lives overnight with a mere mention on his platform. Now, enter Kim Viverette, lovely lady who speaks with the pursed mouth of someone with an obvious contempt for you, just like Ebony K. Williams. And supposed thief? Well, she and her Dallas food truck, Sweetly Seasoned, were paid a visit during Lee's food tour last week. Now, as he was receiving service, he noticed that she had a young man that was cutting hair and a young woman who was also braiding people while they waited for their fresh food. Now, upon his departure and prayer with the woman, Keith Lee gave the owner $4,000 in a tip and instructed her to give $1,000 each to the braider and the barber. But instead, Kim kept the cash for herself.
I don't think I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, I want Keith Lee to tell me, after him knowing the truth now, if that man tell me to give them the money, I'll give it to him.
Well, this led to immediate backlash when Sherelle Hodge, the hairstylist and content creator, and
already made.
Some fried ribs for you, some jerk chicken tacos. Oh my God, we got some banana pudding.
And her brother, who was the barber, went to social media to cry foul. This led to Kim's video apology in a video on the socials where, before apologizing, she actually called Hodge a scammer.
And just to let y'all know, she's a scammer.
Now, I wonder what the scamming part was and what that has to do with the braiding part. I'm just kind of wondering. Like, did you think that this was a time to get back for the scam that she ran on you, or was this justice for just knowing that she was a scammer in general, and you wanted to get her back for doing underhanded things to people in general, and you kind of wanted her to know this is how it feels? Is that what you were doing? Was this retribution? I'm just curious. Either way, this drew serious attention on the webs, with people making replies like, trying to steal $2,000 when you could have made that daily after Keith Lee blessed your business is crazy. And one that basically just completely sealed the whole thing that said, woman destroyed her whole business over $2,000. Now, since then, the food truck has been review bombed into smithereens, or at least for the moment, because you know how fickle the internet can be, right? Causing Viverette to close her truck indefinitely, or at least for the moment. So one can only hope that the $2,000 that she's received was worth it. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that one. So as a pretty active black man, named Black Man, I'm constantly reminded of my own mortality. Not necessarily because of what I'm doing in particular, and thankfully my health is coming back, but because I keep hearing about guys that I knew from high school and college passing away due to preventable illness. Add to that the fact that a lot of us came from some less than middle income households, coupled with poor food quality, poor living environments, and a lack of affordable health care. It's honestly a wonder that any of us made it out at all. Shout out to Pound Cake and the Horseman. Yeah, y'all know who you are. Now, too many times we hear about black people, even younger than us sometimes, who've passed with little to no help to get them better, or because when they finally did seek help, it was much too late to get them to treat what preventable care would have, well, helped to prevent. Add to that the potential of a healthcare system that can overlook your particular black issue just as quickly as you overlook that ER bill after the fact, and you have a recipe for disaster. Now, in comes Dr. Uche Blackstock, no relation. The second generation black female doctor recently penned the book Legacy, a black physician reckons with racism in medicine, in order to tackle the issues that she's been seeing in the industry. Now, she outlines how there's a dearth of black physicians available to listen to, diagnose, and treat black people's medical issues with a level of respect similar to our Caucasian counters.
My mother led a small group of black women physicians in central Brooklyn that organized community health fairs that checked blood pressure, linked patients with physicians to help manage their diabetes. They were doing this grassroots work when health equity did not even have that term. So they were addressing the consequences of racism in the 80s and 90s in our communities in a grassroots way when we weren't even really openly discussing it like we are now. So I really wanted to shine a light on that, because now we're seeing the black maternal mortality crisis. We're seeing that black mothers are 3 to 4 times more likely to die of pregnancy-related complications. That even me with my college degree and medical degree from Harvard, I'm still 5 times more likely to die of pregnancy-related complications than my white counterparts.
Black women account for less than 3% of U.S. doctors, and as a whole, black people account for less than 6% in total, which is partially due to the Flexner Report of 1910. Yes, the 1900s, when, at the direction of the Carnegie Foundation, Abraham Flexner, seen here, flexing, basically had medical schools shut down, leaving only 2 black ones, and also making it harder to enter into and graduate from any medical school. Why, you may ask? Because he says there were too many doctors. Add to that thinking the fact that you're financed by a major money-backed think tank like the Carnegie Foundation, and you basically do whatever they say as long as they keep the lights on. Now remember, this was before the Great Depression and before either of the world wars. Now fast forward that to now, and now we have a healthcare industry crisis. Thank you. We got high-income professionals living check to check, and black people being the least of these looked at seriously when we are really going through some shit. And things are even worse for black men, according to social epidemiologist Roland Thorpe, who says that black men are hidden in plain sight, revealing that there are no real studies or health surveys aimed at understanding our health trajectory. Now, it isn't all doom and gloom. He says that prior to COVID, I hope I can say Corvid. Corvid is just a black bird. Please, 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 please. Don't cancel me. I'm just mentioning Corvid, which is the black bird of death. The life expectancy for black men was greatly extended. But since then, life expectancy for everyone decreased, with black people actually experiencing a reduction twice as large as our Caucasian counters. Then he goes on to detail how merely witnessing our men being murdered on TV by police violence can increase our overall stress and distrust of the official institutions as a whole when we see we aren't taken seriously. I mean, think about it. You're watching TV and you're seeing a man clearly being abused. Everyone around him says that he's the enemy, when you, as a man who can identify with what's going on with that man, you're sitting there saying, no, he's in pain, but no one is listening to him. Then all of a sudden, George Floyd. Very, very short trip to make a long story short, but I'm just saying, a lot of times when you're in that space and you're sitting there looking at that, you're like, well, how can, if no one can trust this man to be telling the truth about what's going on with him, how are they going to believe me? Why would they believe me? I'm no different than that man. To illustrate us being taken seriously, or not so much, look at the story of underground hip-hop legend MF Doom. His story is so intriguingly sad, and I'm sure I won't be able to do it justice, but I'll do my best. Now, basically, the man wasn't in the best of shape, and he didn't have the highest of trust of the medical profession, and was stuck in a hospital bed where medical staff proved his fears to be true. They didn't respond to his buzzer. The treatment that he did receive on many accounts was subpar, where it took up to 2 hours to get life-saving medicine, and he couldn't talk to his wife except for phone because this was during COVID. So he died, neglected, and alone. And that's not a way for anyone to go out, let alone a hip-hop legend. Now, Dr. Blackstock's remedy to the issue is to have more black doctors. And honestly, I'm not thinking that's enough. Because, in my experience, I'm a black man, named Black Man. And while here, I had been looking for a black doctor, a black male doctor to be specific. And lo and behold, I found one. Found a black doctor. I'm like, hey, Dr. E. Hey, Dr. E, what's going on? And it was just, it really hurt my heart to realize that he was pushing me along, doing the paperwork and everything, just like all the other doctors do, not really paying attention to my issue and saying, hey, I see you and I understand. Like, there was none of this. There was none of it. Like, we had banter. We had banter, but everything was just, oh, you're this age. Oh, okay, and that was it. There was no real. And then it was just, let me send you out for a test, and I'll read the thing for the test, and that's it. It's only when I go to a specialist, most times, when I really feel seen. But by the time I get to the specialist, I've already spent so much in doctor's visits and hospital bills and everything else for the issue that in itself makes me say, nobody cares about me any damn way. Or now it's cost so damn much, I don't even want to play this game anymore. And then on the other side, it's like we start to get so comfortable with us that we just lose all professionalism completely once we see it's us in the room. For example, when my son was being born, we had this nurse in there who just thought that we were her family all of a sudden, and she could just talk to us any old kind of way. Oh man, and I'm thinking, whoa, do you talk to white people like this? Just getting so familiar to the point that, my wife, who was sitting there having our baby, was done with her. Like, she honestly wanted the lady out the room before the baby was even born. That's how obnoxious she was. I just need you to do your job. Treat the issue I have. I have an issue. Treat that. do the job. Do your job. You don't have to get super comfortable to the point where professionalism goes out the window. You should also see me. Is it too much as a black man to ask to be seen by a professional who can see us? Like that, I think that's what it is that is at the heart of this thing. I mean, seriously, if I have an issue, just treat the issue. Don't change demeanors just because I'm black. I don't need that. I need your professionalism. Now, another study shows that in California, of about 3,000 black people, 1/4 of them change demeanors when they're seeking medical treatment in hopes that the deference will lead to a more attentive quality visit. Now, is that what we got to do? Like, we do code switching at the gig. We got to do code switching in the hospital just to be seen? And what about when you do talk in the proper tone and you still don't get the treatments that you need?
When they talk, they say the whole word like this.
While I'm not a fan of how things played out with my black doctor, I'm still an advocate of what Dr. Thorpe says, of making sure that you know all your numbers, your A1C, your height, your weight, your blood pressure, and ultimately start with getting a PCP. Not that one, a primary care physician. And that's a note to self as well. Now, unfortunately, this cyclical suggestion circle just points back to the problems that I kind of talked about earlier. Like, so we're too poor to get health insurance, but if we are able to afford it and get our PCP, we have to hope that this one is one of the good ones. You know what I'm saying? But that's where I have to leave it. How is your health? Now, I know when I initially had a podcast with my previous partner, we would ask each other, like, how we were doing. You know, maybe we need to do a check-in right here. You know what I'm saying? So I know I started the show off asking, like, you know, scale of 1 to 5, how are you feeling, right? 5 being horrible, 1 is the best. So now you still remember your number? Mentally, physically, financially, spiritually. Tell me how you're doing. And not just that, what are you gonna do about those areas when you feel low? You know what I'm saying? When you feel horrible. Let me know in those comments. Now, I know for me, right now, I'm feeling like a 2 mentally, a 3 physically, but that's just because I'm still recovering from my little episode that had me missing an episode some weeks back, right? And I'd say like I'm a 2.5 financially and spiritually. Even though I'm not religious, I'd say, spiritually, I say I'm about a 2 also. Like, I feel pretty good about where my head is, but, you know, I need to get my physical up. But where are you? And I'd love to know. Don't leave me hanging. And yeah, I do care if nobody else does. So since we already know in the year of Taylor's wins that the Chiefs are going to win it all, once again, I'll send a preemptive congrats. But I wanted to turn the last story to the quarterback competition at this year's Pro Bowl. Now, I honestly haven't watched the Pro Bowl since Washington's Sean Taylor was actually clocking the garden piss out of these millionaires. But this year, I was looking forward to the Rashad Mendenhall Race Bowl. Unfortunately, we were left with flag football and the quarterback skills competition that left a lot to be desired.
Do I have to go to the left? Get there. Not 45, but it's very close. What was my number? 27? And 32 won it last year? Fudge, I had to hit the 5. I want to do it one more time.
I mean, it's got to be bad when a sports commentator who hasn't played the game in over 7 years does better in the competition than the guys who still do it for a living. And when I say it, I mean play quarterback and hit the target with the ball. But I guess if they could do it better, maybe they'd still be playing or playing this week. My bad. My bad. I'm just talking stuff now because I'm in the city. Look, I'm a Bears fan, so what? I have no dog in the fight. Don't come at me. Stop it and pause. Now, at day's end, it's all in fun. I mean, it's not like these guys are the future of the sport or anything, right? Oh, wait, they are? Oh, then it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Just kidding. But it's probably easier to be a one-time all-star in a game with no rush than to do it every day, which is why the commentator, even in his prime, was never a starter. And he'll admit as much. But still, I miss the good old days when the Pro Bowl had almost as many hits as a real game. Granted, nobody wants to get injured in an exhibition game at the end of the season, but maybe they need some more ideas. You know, why not try Rashad Mendenhall's race war. You know what I'm saying? Bring back the 40-yard sprint or the bench press competition. See who's still fast at the end of the season and how they compare to their rookie numbers. Now, I bet doing something like that would really make those incentive-laced contracts mean a whole lot more. But I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. What would you want to see? We can fight it out in the comment section. But with that, this has been The Black Man Show. Links to all these stories are in the description, as well as some other info you may want to check out. Once again, this is your boy 7 Blackman inviting you to peep our merch found at theblackmanshow.com and get you one of these. Now, please be sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe buttons, share this video with all your peoples, friends, and enemies as we continue to grow this thing out. Who knows? One of y'all may be our 250th sub. We're so close. And we got a little something for you. Don't forget, follow the show on all the socials that show The Black Man, where you can send whatever clips you want to this black man to react to. Or you can say what's good to your boy or introduce me to your mom. I'm gonna meet her anyway, quit playing. Or you can drop me a line at tbs@theblackmanshow.com and put in the subject line, Ask a Black Man. I am so grateful for each and every one of you watching this far. Now, if you like this one, get caught up on some of our earlier episodes. I appreciate each and every one of you, so please, until next time, take care of each other and learn your numbers. Peace. And I'm out.